$1 million. You're either born with it, or you must earn it. And in this series, we'll earn it.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Road to $1 Million Company. My name is Jérémie, I'm the CEO and founder of Hornet Energy, and today is week 2. I think the title is going to be Mistakes Have Been Made. A bit of a, live and learn, right? I'm never going to be perfect. I'm a 22-year-old CEO and founder. I can't be perfect, and that's the whole point of this series, is to show you guys my adaptations to try and make it as much as possible to that goal of $1 million company. And the reason why this episode is called Mistakes Have Been Made is in terms of overall planning, in terms of overall budget planning, and in terms of just a total failure on our part. What happened is about a week and a half ago, we signed a deal with a large influencer that had 200,000 followers on Instagram and about 600,000 on TikTok. That influencer would do a weekly series where they would work out every single day for 45 days, and we were going to sponsor that. And we did. We signed a contract, and it started off pretty well. We got a few sales, and we still are getting a few sales from that partnership. But we failed to look at something that's very important, and we completely overlooked it. And that was to look at his audience metrics. The reason why it was important is because that influencer speaks French, and we thought that the majority of his followers were in Quebec, where the company is based, but they were not. As you know, there's not that many French-speaking countries in the world. Quebec is not a country, maybe it'll be someday. So I think something like 40% of his followers are in France, and the rest, there's like maybe 20% more of them that are in Europe. I guess another 20 or 30 that are in in North Africa and other countries, and about 10% is from Canada. So really, essentially we paid for an influencer, but we're only getting about a tenth of the total possible outcome, which is absolutely our fault. We overlooked that metric, which is so important. Given we talked to the influencer, and perhaps we did mention that it was a Quebec-based idea, and we wanted to attain Quebec, and he failed to tell us that what his audience was like, and it is a crucial mistake on our part, but also his. But anyways, we will come to an agreement. I think he's gonna post a bit more content for us, a few reels and a few other things that are gonna help make it right. But still, we spent a few thousand on this partnership, and we had planned big, and we had planned a lot of revenues from that, because based on 200,000 followers on Instagram, we were gonna make our money back for sure. But many people, many of his followers are reaching out to him saying, "Hey, they don't ship to France. Ooh, what's up?" For us, shipping to France is really expensive. I think we make no money, and we have to charge them like 50% more. And we would have to charge them about 100% more of the actual price of the product, just for us to break even. So we're not doing that, obviously. So big mistake, and because we put all of our, we have different partnerships and different things going on as well, and we should be okay in the future. But if we hadn't put all this money towards this guy, we could then have money in the bank account, and now we just failed to pay rent. We'll be fine. We'll have money coming soon, so it's not a worry. It's a question of timing more than anything. That's just the reality of owning a business, and it makes you realize exactly how much everything matters, and to that precise extent, everything matters. I think success is in the details, and we totally overlooked that detail, and now it's costing us big time. We still think we can make a profit out of this partnership, because realistically, to break even on this partnership, is to make 100 sales from this partnership. And we still think that it is doable to get 100 sales. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We have a meeting with him in the next few days to discuss everything and perhaps to change a few things in the contract. Listen, it's not a mistake that's been done in bad intentions. We talked to the guy, we talked to his team, and they want to make it right. I think it's a detail that both of us overlooked. And I mean, ultimately, it's my fault. You know, I'm the CEO. It's everything. I overlook absolutely everything, and I failed to overlook this. So, I mean, live and learn, right? In the future, I'll always look at our deals in more details. But yeah, that's it. That's one of the only things that happened this week. I'm in the thick of it when it comes to finals at school, and I've been pretty sick as well. So I mean, I've done a few things here and there. But yeah, we should have some really good news though next week. I mean, yeah, we should have some really good fucking news next week. But in terms of sales, I think we're up to 1,700 or something close to that. I'll start putting some screenshots so you guys believe me. But yeah, so a big mistake from our part, which is costing us big time. But that's just the name of the game, you know. It's live and learn. I'll never do that mistake again. I mean, you have to learn from mistakes, and you know, I think putting myself to shame is not a good thing at all. But you know, being accountable for it is definitely the way forward. So, but then you know, we have to. I mean, these mistakes, these things happen, and they're fine. I mean, listen, I chose to do this. I chose to launch this business, and I obviously knew that it wouldn't be just a smooth ride. But you know, I think in those times you have to remind yourself why you're doing it and where you're going and where the objective is. And for us, it's just like it's still to hit that $10,000 mark in December alone, and we're still going to achieve it. Even though that took a hit, because I mean, we have to decrease our numbers by 10%. You know, literally. So we're hoping to make 5,000 to 6,000 out of it. That'd be really good, especially when Christmas comes around. But still, we can't just rely on that, which is a good thing. Because listen, when you pay an influencer like this and you bet on the fact that he alone with his content will make you all the money you need, that's ill. That's not a good way to think. So I think it forces us as a team to find other ways to make revenue, and we have just found one. So we just launched a new program called the Hornet Affiliate Coach, and very self-explanatory. We're targeting coaches like gym coaches and everything, running coaches, whatever you want, to boost to place in our products in their clients' diet and everything. And they're making the commission out of it, and it's a referral program where if you're a coach and you refer another coach, you'll get some money too. And we've increased our commission size to a pretty big number, honestly, to make it more interesting. But yeah, so that is a way we are planning on making some good amount of sales, especially in January. I mean, right now, everything matters, as I said, to this precise extent, but right now we're in December. In January, there's a huge spike in gym goers. Overall spending, consumer spending is less in January. But when it comes to the gym, people will go to the gym, they will start again, and they will go to their coaches, and these guys will recommend a few things. And we think that a product like ours, which is not, crazily intense, gives you a nice boost. I think this creates a loyalty in their customers and makes them say like, well, if I just bought this for working out, it's going to force me to do so and everything. And it's a healthier alternative to anything energy-wise. And it's made in Quebec, it's local, it's all natural. So we're pitching that program towards these coaches, and we already have a few of them that have signed contracts. And that's just a win-win for everybody. The client has a nice product that's natural and can work for them. We make sales, and that's the coach makes a great commission. So it's just an overall win. And lastly, I'm in talks with Madi, our CMO, which, by the way, I want to introduce. I mean, not now, today, but in the future, I will. I have in mind that I could bring, my CMO or my chief sales officer in a video to discuss a few things. But yeah, it still is the same tactic for us. It's just to make a lot of content, to try and go viral as much as possible. But we also are in the talks of launching our first Facebook ad campaign. And one of the reasons why Maddie is in the team is that he's been taught by the best in the industry. And we were banking on Facebook ads, but we wanted to sell our first batch, which is about $11,000 in revenue, organically, so through content, through referrals, through going to gyms and selling our products, whatever. But we are in talks about making our first ever ad. And you know, with Christmas, we can then sell the narrative that when you buy our boxes and our products, you are gifting health to a close one or something. It's still in the works, but so we're doing the coach affiliate program, perhaps Facebook ads, still overall content, and bike shops, engine shops, running shops, everything that is related to sports. We are trying to target, because if you think about it, right now running and biking and everything endurance on the outside is obviously down because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but here in Quebec, I'll show you guys. But here in Quebec, it's not quite sunny outside. I don't know if you guys will see, but it's pretty snowy outside. It's full of snow. All right, so as you can see, running is not. I mean, it's still. I mean, that's the thing. Running is not popular right now because of the snow. But the thing is, when you sell, in bike shops and everything right now, what you will get is the hardcore people, and that's as a new company, we want to target these first movers. And we think that the people that are hardcore about running or biking, they are more likely to adopt a new thing. But yeah, we think that by targeting these bike shops right now, we get access to a demographic that's more inclined to try new products. So that's just what we're doing right now. It's just, we failed, we made a mistake, we learn from it, we get better. We can still make a good amount of money from that partnership, and we will break even at least. But everything, we got so many things, more than that. And the goal is the same. The goal essentially is the same, and it's not because there's a, embûche, how you say this in English? It's not because there's an obstacle and you just divert your whole thing. We're still focused on one thing, and that's all that matters. Moving on, I had a comment on last week's video that asked, how do we target, actually let me just read the comment. Moving on, we had a comment on last week's video that said, congrats on signing your first athlete, thank you. Excited to see what else you bring along. I'm curious how you go about signing your athletes. Do you cold outreach, and what's your process for doing that? Great question. The way we usually do that is, the way we found our first athlete is just by scrolling on Instagram, and we found him, and we were like, well, pretty decent. But, there's no real current strategy, because we will have some in the future, but right now it's just the birth of the program, so we're not going too hard on that. We're just trying to survive right now. But the whole point of the program is to bring social presence to the brand and for the athlete, and building on that for the athlete, we coach the athlete to make better content, have a better brand, so they can then get other sponsorships and then live, and then they have more time because they have more money, they have more time to spend on their craft and their sport, and they get better. That's just the whole cycle. And the number one tangent in this is social presence. So right now we're just trying to find them through Instagram. A lot of athletes reach out to us. Actually, we have plenty of DMs like every single day, which is crazy, but most of them just want money. It's the reality. And the way our current strategy is not to find these established ones. We're seeing them as penny stocks in a way. It sounds awful, right? It sounds awful, referring to someone, a whole individual, as a penny stock, but it is how we see it when it comes to the company. And we want to catch them young, and we want to help them grow and just make them better for them and for us as well. And that's the whole point. So we don't want to do anything with established athletes. We want to get them young, make them grow with us. And our philosophy is if we eat, everybody eats. That's the whole point of it. So for now, there's no real strategy. There's no cold outreach being done that much. It's just by figuring out and finding out. But there will be in the future. A bit more strategy when it comes to that. And yeah, who knows where this program will lead us. Perhaps we would have a few scouts and everything. That's the goal for sure. To have a few scouts when it comes to fighting or any other sport, actually, by the matter. But yeah. So thank you for the question. If you guys have more questions towards the company, please just leave a comment or anything. I'll make sure to respond in a video like this or in the comments directly. But I think that's pretty much what I have to say for this episode. Thank you guys again for showing up and for listening to this amazing series. I've been your host, Jérémie, and I think that does it. So I'll see you again next week where I should have some pretty decent news. Anyways, take care. Peace.